I love Backgammon. The problem is I've lost the board I had, and by lost I mean it's just somewhere at my parents' house. So I'm gonna make a new one, and it's of course gonna be much more complicated than it needs to be. For the base, I cut up some perfectly good sheets of leather into a bunch of small pieces and then glue them back into one sheet of leather again. I made a template for the pattern that I covered with plastic so I could glue the pieces together without them permanently sticking to the paper. This helps me keep the lines straight, along with tapping the edges of the pieces with my ruler like a maniac. Then when it's all dry, I can hopefully just peel everything off as one single sheet. I was worried that this wouldn't work, and I was spending all this time poking the pieces into place only to peel them off one by one again. But it worked out. The end result is pretty cool and surprisingly sturdy. I'm definitely gonna make some more of these for future projects, but for now, I'm gonna cut my piece of pieces into pieces again. Doing it this way allowed me to get the pattern centered on all the triangles. While this might have looked like a lot of work just for 12 triangles, don't worry, because we also need 12 more. These are made by cutting the leather into thin strips and inserting them between the other triangle pieces. This is all necessary because by spending days making these triangles, I can now guilt my peers into playing backgammon with me on my fancy board. We also need a base sheet of leather with the triangles cut out that we will be replacing with our superior Frankenstein triangles. After effortlessly peeling my paper template from the leather, we can glue our triangles into place and finally start having something resembling a backgammon game. We're also gonna need a nice box to hold everything together. I have this wooden one that I'm gonna upgrade by covering it in leather and swapping out the hardware. I'm also adding magnetic sheets to the bottom because I thought it would be a great idea to have magnetic playing pieces. That turned out to be a terrible idea. To prepare the box, I sanded all the varnished surfaces off so the glue will stick. Then I wrapped it with a very thin sheet of leather that I did not cut into pieces. I covered all the sides except for the bottom, which is where our triangles will go. I also got these super tiny hinges. I don't know why I thought they had to be this small. They don't actually hold the box together very well. On top of that, I also attached them on the inside of the box, and despite their small size, they left a pretty big gap on the outside, which looks a bit weird. But it's fine. And now we can finally glue our triangles sheet into place. I'm pretending this part worked out on the first try. I was too annoyed to film my multiple failed attempts at assembling the triangles in the box. All we need now to finish the game are the checkers. I got these wooden discs that my dad drilled holes into for me because nobody trusts me with power tools. The holes were so the magnets could fit flush in the discs and ruin my game. Look how happy I was showing off my little magnetic pieces, unaware of what I've done. I covered up the bottom in leather and checked that the magnets still pull through the leather, which they unfortunately do. For the top of the pieces, you guessed it, we're going with circles and circles because plain colors are boring. I cut a donut shape and filled the hole with a smaller black circle. Now that everything is finally done, we can enjoy a nice relaxed game of backgammon with our new magnetic board.